coming off the all-time memorable 24 hours between WrestleMania on Sunday to the following night's Raw in Montreal. SmackDown opened with a video package recapping some of the most iconic moments the industry has ever seen taking place on WWF television over the past week, from the Rock vs. Hogan match to the crowd reaction in the follow-up segment on Monday, with the post-WrestleMania SmackDown on Thursday targeting another massive audience following the highest-rated Raw in over 7 months. Set to be headlined by a big first-time-ever Rock vs. Nash match a day after Rock's off-the-cuff comment mocking Diesel's character stirred things up with Nash backstage and added intrigue to the match, with the show tonight coming in the middle of the highest-profile week of the year for the company between WrestleMania weekend to the big draft show next Monday. With massive changes from the TV product to the road schedule set to take place over the next week, with SmackDown tonight the final show under normal circumstances before the new direction kicks off on Monday with the brand split, with SmackDown opening with a WrestleMania rematch of Booker vs. Edge going 5 minutes with Kurt Angle on commentary, starting the build-up to one of the most intriguing aspects of the draft, with him expected to be drafted at number 1 by McMahon. Seeing Booker getting his win back on Edge after Angle's interference to continue the Edge vs. Angle feud, followed by Hulk Hogan arriving to the building to be confronted by Vince McMahon, and after years of Hogan pushing for the match even during the peak of the Monday Night Wars, saying that Hogan vs. McMahon is the one thing that would guarantee him making a WWF return, Vince and Hogan kicked off the build-up to their eventual match, with Vince telling Hogan that he invented sports entertainment and made Hogan, asking him about being his number 1 draft pick before giving him the night off to think about it, ending the segment with Hogan deciding to stay in the building, with SmackDown's first half-hour opening with a 3.8 rating and over 6.6 million viewers in its most-watched opening since the first SmackDown after the NWO debut on February 21st. With major changes to the NWO angle taking place days before WrestleMania, with Hall and Nash notified on the new direction a day before the event on Saturday that saw Austin going over and Hogan turning babyface. Things remained uncertain, with Steve Austin after walking out unannounced on Raw in Montreal to fly back home immediately following WrestleMania on Sunday night, with him again not on the show tonight in Ottawa after still not reaching a settlement with management, with his problems with the creative direction going back to the past 2 months of the entire focus of the TV product built around Rock and Hogan as the 2 biggest stars in history, with questions about his status for the big draft show on Monday still not clear on what is set to be one of the biggest and most important Raw shows in history, along with the upcoming Backlash pay-per-view, which as of this week was set to be headlined by Rock, Hogan and Austin teaming for the first time against the NWO, which is set to get another former member to join the group tonight, and with Austin's political issues over his recent positioning, the WWF, which already set up an out-for-one issue by making Triple H as the WWF title holder available to appear on both shows as a way to not give the champion second billing, is set to face similar issues during the placement of the draft picks on Monday over who gets selected first over the other, with all the top names in the loaded roster available at the same time, with SmackDown picking up a big over the next 45 minutes, jumping from 6.6 to 7.8 million viewers at the top of the hour, with Chris Jericho in his first promo since losing the title after only having a short backstage segment on Monday, hyping his rematch in 4 days to bring out Triple H for the response just before 9 p.m., airing a highlight video of Stephanie with her set to finally be written off television after growing backlash with her being placed in unqualified positions either in the creative team or the TV product, changing the title match on Monday from a handicap match to a 3-way for the title. Next on SmackDown saw two back-to-back matches, first with Test vs Tajiri followed by Hurricane vs Molly, with Brock Lesnar after debuting on Monday running in to take both out with Paul Heyman, along with another top OVW name in Rico Constantino debuting on the night as Billy and Chuck's stylist, and after talks of Angle and Hogan as McMahon's first draft picks earlier, along with Vince telling the NWO that he arranged that the entire NWO group have to be drafted as a unit after the hints of the Hardys and the APA being separated to different brands. Undertaker, after not being written into the show on Monday, went to Ric Flair's office in their first meeting since their WrestleMania match, with Taker asking Flair to draft him to Raw as a way for him to be reminded of their match on a weekly basis, with SmackDown holding up strong in the entire 9 to 10 p.m. hour to largely stay in the 4.6 rating range. With tension building in the past 24 hours since their promo exchange on Raw, Nash reportedly arrived at the Corel Center later than usual at 3 p.m. with him bringing up Rock's off-script comment to several people, including the reported backstage conversation with Shane McMahon, as Nash, who's one of the trademarks during the peak of the Outsiders WCW run being the off-the-cuff one-liners, seeing their roles reversed combined with the potential added heat of Nash being in constant contact with Triple H during the past few years of the legit Rock-Hunter rivalry, saying that it was out of character for him not to respond or charge the ring after getting caught off guard in the exchange, and with Nash and Rock booked to work their first ever singles match just hours later. Things ended up escalating further hours before the TV taping on Tuesday, with Nash and Rock allegedly having a heated confrontation backstage when going over the layout of the match, with Nash after being asked about his planned moves in the match by Rock and Patterson, with him already heated from the previous night, claiming that he needs to establish himself in his first singles match back in front of the WWF audience, with compromise ending up being made with Patterson as Rock's right-hand man since the start of his career and the all-time match layout man in the industry, calming things down to get the match in the ring with no further issues, including a spot of Nash responding to Rock's comment mid-match that was highlighted on commentary and post-production, as Rock vs Nash with Hall at ringside went 7 minutes in the SmackDown main event to peak the night begin the final quarter with a 4.7 rating and over 8.1 million viewers, ending up with Rock having the match won with the people's elbow before Hall interfered for the DQ finish, setting up the post-match angle with Nash powerbombing Rock through the announcer's table to bring out Hogan, to another massive reaction from the Canadian crowd, taking out both Hall and Nash to set up the return of Sean Waltman as the new member of the NWO, laying out Hogan while saying that he waited for this moment for 4 years, in a callback to Hogan burying him on WCW's Thunder broadcast in March '98 and the follow-up of him being fired from the company, reuniting the original Wolfpac to close SmackDown to major heat, with the show jumping big to its third most watched SmackDown in over 7 months, drawing a 4.3 rating with 7.4 million viewers heading into the big draft show on Monday.